Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, guys. We're back for the second day of the Pro Game X tournament. Um, the admins of the tournament have created a losers bracket for the teams that lost yesterday, for like obvious like other reasons like that, to give them a second chance to have two more teams into the final round. But we do have one series from the group stage that were unable to play yesterday to play out today. It's going to be between the teams Gladiator Fakebot Nefo and Napoleon's French Forces, which is a Turbo Cleave and a Thunder Cleave. So we're going to play that out as a best of three. We're joined by Laguna as the cameraman today, and we also have Botar back once again. Botar, how you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing good.
Okay. And we should be able to get this started as soon as possible. I'm just going to make sure that they're both ready. And these are best of three, starting on the Grand Arena. Losers pick afterwards. Just making sure they're ready. Just making sure both the teams are ready, and then we should be able to queue up and jump right into it. All right, one team is ready. All right, both teams are ready. So we're going to queue them up into the Grand Arena. All right, so we do have a Thunder Cleave going up against a Turbo Cleave. Blizzo, Spitzcoffee, and Nefo playing the Mistweaver Turbo, going up against Collard, Lumpy, and CFI playing the Resto Druid Thunder Cleave. Definitely a dampening matchup. Enhancement Shamans and Elemental Shamans are both very tanky. They also are playing with very mobile healers, so it can be hard to connect to the healer. There's going to be lots of swaps going on, I would imagine, from the Thunder Cleave onto Nefo, possibly sitting on Blizzo the Warrior, force him into D stance for most of the game, and then swap to Nefo. But with his portal, he's going to be able to escape fairly easily. So it's going to be a long game. Just warning you guys ahead of time. If you don't want to watch a long game, I'm sorry, but this is definitely going to be one. With the gates opening here in 3, 2, 1. Let's see how aggressive Blizzo decides to be, as well as Collard. They're just going to charge each other into the center of the map right now, trading some damage off right now. Lumpy's already throwing the Lava Burst out. Blizzo's choosing to reflect an early Lava Burst. And Spitzcoffee already just mashing that Purge button. There's the Recklessness very early with the Stormbolt onto CFI. They need some more CC out of that. They're onto Lumpy. There's the Colossus Smash. He throws down a Capacitor Totem, but it's killed instantly. Luckily, CFI Ironbark before he got paralyzed there, but the CC chain's going to run out for the Turbo Cleave here. But no, the full fear lands. Lumpy is not tremoring that because he was also put into the fear, and they're swapping over to Collard. So far, some really good early swaps from this Turbo. They're getting a lot of pressure onto Collard right now. He has that regen should he choose to use it, but he's using the shield barrier, trying to save the CD. Lumpy's also throwing out some off heals, now going for the Lava Burst. Spitzcoffee's Ascendance has pretty much been negated, and now the fear's landed onto Nefo as they swap to him with a Hex onto Spitzcoffee. He's going to have to trinket that immediately, and Nefo had to use the Life Cocoon. He's going to want to pour here shortly because that is the avatar of Collard, and he's doing quite a bit of damage, even possibly through the Life Cocoon here as it fades. There's the full Stormbolt, and Nefo's caught on the other side of the map. He is going to be able to get his portal off away here and spam the Soothing Mist. He's going to recover just fine and relays his port. Full clone onto Spitzcoffee, root onto Blizzo. Blade Storms out of it immediately to start attacking Lumpy, dipping him to about half HP, but he's going to be all right with no CC onto CFI. There's not a lot that's going to get done, and Blizzo is definitely taking the big brunt of this force from Lumpy. The Chain Lightnings and Lava Bursts are quite relentless from him. There's the Paralyze onto CFI, the swap onto Collard, the Stormbolt out of the Paralyze. That's the kind of CC chain the Turbo needs to get off, but the triple Capacitor Totem from Lumpy on top of the Earthquake stun is going to land onto the entire Turbo, so nice play from Lumpy here to peel that, and now CFI is able to camp the Bear Form, tank out this Turbo Cleave reasonably well here, and Displacer Beast across the map without having to use his skin. Leg sweep onto Collard here behind the pillar. He's positioned near Nefo's port just in case he does, but Blizzo's immediately onto him to peel him. The hamstrings up. Both warriors kind of trading damage, but not too much is going to get accomplished here until the game moves a little bit more forward. And Collard now catching onto Nefo, who instantly ports away, and Blizzo once again peeling him. CFI gets paralyzed, but it does break to some damage there. Nefo gets put into the full Storm Bolt. He has no, sorry, does have the Life Cocoon available. He's going to have to pop it as he does have no portal available. Now into the half bash. They're trying to crush through it, but it's not going to happen. Collard with the Avatar is just waiting for that Life Cocoon, trading some blows onto Blizzo for now with the rest of his Avatar. Shamrage was actually forced onto Lumpy in the meantime from Spitzcoffee and Blizzo, so trading some cooldowns there. There's another capacitor totem thrown down by Lumpy, not landing onto anyone just yet, but a fear onto Spitzcoffee. Blizzo's doing quite a lot of damage to Lumpy. CFI has to answer with his Iron Bar and needs to get his hots rolling, but Spitzcoffee is relentless with the Purge spam. At the same time, Collard has finally connected to Nefo, but he's going to throw him to the leg sweep. He trinkets immediately, and he did not manage to fake the pummel just yet, so he's going to have to use the Aura Mastery to get around that pummel, but Lumpy's taking quite a bit of damage in the middle of the map. Blizzo might need to come back and start, Collard might need to come back here and start peeling. He is onto Blizzo. Lumpy just in the center of the map, tanking both of these melee. Nefo is doing fairly well on mana, though. There's the Storm Ball. He does get safeguarded after that, and Lumpy's the one who's still at half HP. CFI is just unable to heal. He gets wind sheared, I believe, or pummeled on that regrowth. He's going to actually pop the Tree Form against this Turbo Cleave, go for a Cyclone. He lands it on Spitzcoffee, low HP. That's going to deny quite a lot of healing. Now the Storm Bolt onto CFI. They're trying to get some pressure onto Lumpy, but Collard instantly uses the Avatar to counter pressure onto Nefo, and he's using his Tiger's Lust. He's trying to run away. Charge Root onto Collard is going to slow him from doing that. Now Spitzcoffee is the one who's falling behind. He has to pop the Ascendance and start off healing quite a bit with the Ancestral Guidance, as well as the Shamanistic Rage. So that was a lot of defensive cooldowns used from Spitzcoffee, and now the full clone onto Nefo. He's choosing to sit that. The Sham Rage should be enough to tank this. There's the Stormbolt onto CFI. They do need the Paralyze out of that, but they get the Sham Rage. There's the Paralyze onto CFI. Does interrupt him on the clone, I believe, as well, but the Sham Rage now used from Lumpy. He's going to be able to tank this out. A nice leg sweep on a Collard, trying to mitigate some damage there. Both healers doing reasonably well on mana. We're about 50 seconds until dampening starts. Not too much has been accomplished aside from trading cooldowns. Now Spitzcoffee cloned as well at low HP, trying to deny the Soothing Mist of Nefo. He's going to immediately Nimble Brew out of that stun. Now the Arm Bark onto Lumpy from CFI. He should be able to pick him up, even though Spitzcoffee is relentless with the purges. He's finally run out of mana, so the steam might end here. Lumpy dipping to about half HP, no Sham Rage for 19 seconds, as well as no Iron Bark from CFI. And Spitzcoffee with the Healing Surge off heals should be okay to keep his team aggressive. There's a clone onto Blizzo. He's going to trinket immediately and use the Stormbolt onto CFI. They need to get that Paralyze. There's the Paralyze out. That's the CC chain that they need, and Lumpy's in a bit of trouble. Sham Rage comes up in 3 seconds. He's trying to fake the interrupts to go for a Hex, but he's just not getting him. That Wind Shear finally used onto Lumpy, but he's going for the Lava Burst. Wow, that was an incredible amount of damage onto Nefo. He has to use the Life Cocoon behind the pillar. There's the Hex onto Spitzcoffee, but it's instantly going to break to damage. Now cloning him low HP. Nefo taking the time to just drink some Mana Tea. Blizzo trying to spam some damage out here onto Lumpy, but he does get rooted into the full bash. CFI going for the clone. Not able to get the clone, I believe. He did get Windshield on it. Now going for the clone once again. Does get it onto Blizzo. That's going to save Lumpy for now, but CFI had to use the Iron Bark regardless. So with Shamanistic Rage, the only cooldown available. Dampening starting at 3%. Spitzcoffee taking quite a bit of damage, though, from Lumpy and Collard. He's going to be connecting pretty hard onto him. He uses the Shamanistic Rage. Soothing Mist coming out from Nefo, as well as he's rebuffing. Both of these teams need to constantly rebuff. There's the Mark of the Wild, because both Shamans are just mashing Purge. It's a pretty big increase to their damage. They need to make sure that those buffs stay up, and they're doing a good job of it. CFI does get locked out on that clone there. Now going for a clone once again, but he fakes the Spell Reflect on Blizzo, so great play there from CFI. Now he gets the clone onto Spitzcoffee to deny some healing, but not too much getting done just yet. Shamanistic Rage not available for Spitzcoffee if they can connect to him. Full bash onto Blizzo to try and help Lumpy out, but there's the Paralyze onto CFI. Lumpy taking quite a bit of damage, getting chunked to half HP, but there's the NS of CFI topping him off. Collard now using the Avatar, forcing Nefo's Life Cocoon back here, as well as Lumpy just spamming the Chain Lightning. He's trying to do whatever he can to cleave this Thunder Cleave down. Stormbolt onto CFI. They need to get the Paralyzed Chain out of that. Not going to be able to just yet. The Sham Rage is used by Lumpy. He's going to be okay for now. Collard dipping to about half HP here, though. He's going to pop that regen to try and recover some of this damage. There's a clone of Spitzcoffee. He trinkets immediately, throws the Windwalk Totem down, and some off heals for Nefo as he is in that Stormbolt. And Nefo's just going to port away from Collard. He's going to have to reconsider. He switches targets, goes back onto Blizzo, but he already has the Die by the Sword up, so he's not going to be able to do a ton of damage. And now Blizzo and Spitzcoffee just turn around and start crushing Collard. He has to heroic leap charge to get to Nefo and escape the turbo cleave, but Ascendance is popped. Collard is dipping pretty low here. He only has Rallying Cry available. He has to use the Rally. He activates the shield barrier as well. Stormbolt coming out, but not accomplishing too much. The Rally's going to fade here. Lumpy's trying to throw out some off heals here to try and answer the Stormbolt. It's maintaining Collard's HP for now, but he's in quite a bit of trouble. No Iron Bark. Tree Form is available, but dampening at 14% and stacking. That Tree Form is going to drain his mana should he have to use it. Collard now connecting to Spitzcoffee. There's the Recklessness from Blizzo. Bladestorm hitting onto 2. Lumpy taking quite a bit of damage from that, dipping to half HP. He does get the Safeguard from Collard, but now they're just cleaving Collard and Lumpy down. They're both at half HP. CFI has to make some hard decisions to heal which target, and the Capacitor Totem even lands onto Lumpy with the Stormbolt cross CC, so Lumpy's in quite a bit of trouble. Has to use the Sham Rage. That's going to buy him time for CFI to come out of that paralyze. He comes out with the Tree Form Iron Bark. Should be able to top him off. Now Lumpy trying to turn some damage around onto Nefo. Chunks him to half HP with that Lava Burst. He's going to portal away, but Collard's in hot pursuit. Uses that Heroic Leap. Nice Ore Mastery from Nefo to answer that pummel from Collard, so he's going to be able to heal himself up to full. He has that Life Cocoon available for that next Stormbolt. There's the Stormbolt. There's the Life Cocoon to answer it. Blizzo into a root gets out of that instantly just from the collateral damage of Lumpy, and Lumpy does get locked out on that Hex. He's trying to go for a little bit of CC onto Spitzcoffee, but he's not able to get it. The Blade Storm from Blizzo doing quite a bit of damage to Lumpy. Now he's going for the Hex once again, trying to fake the interrupts, but he's not getting it. There's the Winter finally faked, but the Stormbolt onto CFI. Lumpy's falling more and more behind. 80,000 HP. CFI actually going for a Cyclone here, trying to fake as he gets put into the fear. Lumpy needs to Tremor. He does Tremor him out. Vigil's up, but he goes for the clone. He gets paralyzed on it. CFI needs to heal. He has to Trinket the Paralyze. He uses the NS healing touch. He didn't have time. He's also not playing Soul of the Forest. There's the Shamanistic Rage though from Lumpy at 100,000 HP, almost into execute range. Collard throwing out the Safeguard as well. Iron Bark onto Lumpy. He's still sitting around half HP, and CFI is just having a hard time topping his team. That's Die by the Sword as well from Collard. There's Regen's going to be available. He's trying to go aggressive with the Avatar Recklessness onto Blizzo here. There's the full bash onto him. Hex coming out. There's the Life Cocoon from Nefo to answer all of these cooldowns, though he should be fine as he rolls to the center of the map. Collard, the one is in trouble right now. Die by the Sword as well from Blizzo. Both teams taking an immense amount of damage right now. Both healers have some really hard decisions. NS is up from Lumpy here. He's not getting rid of it just yet. He's going for a Hex. He really needs to get rid of that NS quickly before he gets purged. He's just going to go down. The fear from Collard was way too late. The Thundercleave running out of cooldowns and Spitzcoffee and Blizzo with some insane bursts just take him down.
Yeah, as you said, like I think the game was pretty deep into dampening. 30% for cleaves. It's actually kind of high. I think the Thundercleave is struggling to actually get pressure because they can not really hit anything. They don't have a proper target. They can't hit the Monk because he's really mobile. They can only swap him, and he always has something ready for it. So he either has Cocoon, Nimble, Trinket, or something else. So it's really hard for the Thundercleave to actually find a proper target and get the pressure they need. Whereas the Turbocleave can just hit anything they want and abuse their Purge really hard and make that Rested Druid fall behind because they spam Purge every global. And it's really hard for the Rested Druid to out-heal spam purging Enhanced Shaman. Their globals are way lower than his, so he can actually purge more than he can hot. I think that's a huge problem. And the Thunder can't stop anything. The Stormbolt paralyzes are like pretty much unavoidable. And they can't really get pressure. I don't see them switching it up. Maybe they can get some swaps onto the like for example, sit on the Sham, get some swaps on the Warrior to get extra pressure. Because I feel like going Monk is really good in general, but not for the Thunder since the Monk can't really die in a swap. They don't have enough damage. They can only force something and then try to get pressure by doing that, but they won't kill him ever. They might just be worth to just hit DPS